Welcome to this lesson on statistics and probability. Today, we are going to dive into the concept of stratified sampling. Specifically, we will look at why dividing a population into groups before you sample them is often a smart idea. So, what exactly is stratified sampling? It is a method where the entire population is first divided into distinct subgroups. We call these subgroups strata. The key is that people within each stratum share similar characteristics. Once these groups are formed, we take a random sample from each one. You might wonder, why not just pick names out of a hat? That is called simple random sampling. The problem with that is the luck of the draw. If you have a diverse population, pure chance might mean you miss out on smaller, minority groups entirely. This leads to underrepresentation and results that do not accurately reflect everyone. Let us talk about the star of the show, the strata. A stratum is simply a homogeneous group. This means members inside the group are similar to each other in a specific way. Common examples include grouping people by age ranges, income levels, or education levels. These characteristics define the boundaries of your groups. There is a golden rule in stratified sampling called proportional allocation. Ideally, your sample should be a mini mirror of the population. If Group A makes up 20% of the total population, then Group A should also make up 20% of your final sample. This keeps everything fair and balanced. Here is how the process works in 3 simple steps. First, you look at your mixed population. Second, you separate them into their specific strata or groups. And third, you perform random sampling within those groups to build your final selection. It is organized and systematic. Let us look at a real-world example, a high school survey. Imagine a school with 1,000 students. If you want to survey 100 students, you do not just grab the first 100 who walk by. You look at the breakdown. If freshmen are 30% of the school, you randomly select 30 freshmen. If seniors are 20%, you select 20 seniors. This ensures every grade level has a voice proportional to its size. Visualizing the difference helps. With simple random sampling, you risk getting a sample that is heavily biased toward the majority, accidentally ignoring the red squares in this diagram. With stratified sampling, we force the process to acknowledge every group, ensuring that both the blue circles and red squares are picked. Like any method, there are trade-offs. The advantages are clear. You get greater precision, guaranteed representation, and the ability to compare different subgroups against each other. However, the disadvantages are that it requires you to know information about everyone beforehand to sort them, and it is more complex and time-consuming to organize than a simple random draw. To wrap up, remember that stratified sampling is all about dividing the population into strata. It ensures proportional representation for all subgroups and provides more accurate results than simple random sampling. It is the perfect tool when you are dealing with diverse populations.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.